What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk to you about Lucid. Give you a quick overview of some of the data points, what's affecting it today, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So Lucid is up slightly, 0.48%, 210 the low, 220 the high. So a lot of volatility in the broader market today. And one thing that did come out that caused this pre-market was ADP employment change. So came in at 77,000. Forecast was 160,000. So that was very low, not necessarily the best. So of course, market's somewhat negatively reacting to that, but I think the only thing that is keeping the market up right now is this right here. So hopes and expectations that Trump is going to, as what people have kind of said, roll back on the tariffs that was implemented yesterday. So in reality, we just don't really know what that does mean. Like, is there going to be a middle ground? Is it going to be reduced down to 10? Are they going to stick to 25, push it back? Like, there's a lot of what ifs. And I think, like I said, that's the only thing that is keeping the market high right now. But as far as Lucid, nothing specific to them coming out. So no news, no SEC filings. So they've been rather quiet since their earnings, which I've already kind of complained about on these videos about, because they're acting as though their earnings were bad, and their earnings were very, very good. So companies should not go into hiding if they had good earnings. So it's just an unfortunate event. But shorts, again, this is now, was it the 5th? Since last Wednesday, ultimately, they have been doubling the hell down. So even right now, they are increasing 3.52 million shares. Officially, 25% of their free float is being shorted. So I don't really know what their goal is. Are they trying to break Lucid on a technical standpoint, or are they acting on actual credible information? And I get a lot of fear associated to Peter leaving. A lot of analysts didn't like that, think that Lucid is going to fail because of that. But in reality, if you think about it, one way I like to view it is, yes, a lot of Peter's shares are locked up, but he still does have access to, I think it is an estimated around 10 million shares. So he has 19 in total. If Peter starts to sell his stock, then I would be rather worried. And so it's as far as technically him as well, he is an employee as what they stated. So even though he stepped down, he still is an employee. So by him selling of his stake, any stock, he has to still submit a Form 4. So whenever you see Peter selling, then that is time to really panic and run for the hills, because that means he has lost confidence in Lucid. But until that does happen, you're just going to have a lot of manipulation coming from shorts. So let me know your viewpoint on that. The only thing that I wanted to kind of bring up was this. So posted by Lucid Oasis. So it looks like there's going to be that second studio in Switzerland. So that's good. I love Lucid expansion. When I first started to cover Lucid, I loved their kind of mentality of wanting to pretty much conquer the whole world, where any hint of demand, that's where they wanted to be. So initially they wanted to take over China by 2025. They wanted Europe, Saudi Arabia, they wanted like everything. And that I loved their ambition. It's obviously toned down quite a lot. So China, we don't really know anything about. I think Peter brought it up at the beginning of 2024, saying that in the foreseeable future, they might look at it, but it's just too much competition, too much gray. And so I think that was kind of the right move. But targeting Europe is definitely something that I think Lucid should focus on. And I still have yet to find out a credible answer. They keep pushing it back, these random articles about the UK. I feel like the UK is a very key point to really move towards. And whenever Lucid or any company doesn't do a logical move, it's usually for a specific purpose. So in the past, I've seen some comments saying, well, they're not going to the UK because of a partnership, and that partnership will obviously handle the UK in various capacities. So yeah, I think there is going to be a lot of big developments coming from Europe over the next little bit. That's just my viewpoint, but let me know your general thoughts. Market's been open 1 hour, so take this into with a grain of salt. But 71,000 in calls, 29,000 in puts, 55% of all the options being done are bullish in nature, and of the call options, there's a consensus for it to be roughly around that 250 to 3. So still a good amount of optimism. Bears are anticipating for it to be sub 2, so they're anticipating more of a broader market pullback. 3 transactions so far on the secondary market above $100,000, 2 buys and 1 sells. So in reality, I know this is with the market being only open 1 hour, it's not the best type of information. So if there's some pretty big developments or some big transactions afterwards, I'll do a after hours video as well. So kind of stay tuned for that. But with it right now at $2.11, trading between this pivot and this S1, so 206 is going to be the next strong support. Just watch for that, and most likely it's going to be stuck above that point up until we have that Trump announcement. So I think a lot of people are having a lot of high expectations for that. So we'll just have to wait and see what that does bring, but no new analyst ratings, nothing along those lines. On the actual chart, very oversold. You can see that from the stochastic RSI. So that's always a good thing. So if there's a good piece of news, whether it be broader market or specific to Lucid, you could see a push higher. Looking on the actual chart, as I've shared with you, not much positive things to bring up. I'm looking at the 1 year on a side note, so not much really positives to bring up. If we look at the even 1 week, one everything, it's massive bloodbath. That's what Lucid has undergone for the last little bit. It's absolute craziness to see this level of pullback despite their good earnings. So it's just a very frustrating stock, and maybe I'm on the wrong side of it. Shorts seem to be acting based on something. I have no idea why. So they've increased. So encumbering today, probably around just over 50 million shares that they've increased in the last week since their triple beat earnings. So something just doesn't jive. There is a lot of grayness in the broader market, which I understand, but for them to double down like this is crazy. But let me know your viewpoint on Lucid. Are you buying the dip? Are you selling? What's your general thoughts on just everything to do with Lucid? So let me know your thoughts. One final thing, pop over to my Discord. It is completely free. A lot of good people talking about stocks, options, crypto, random things. Definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. And with all that said, appreciate all of you watching.